Good morning. Lisa Hamilton with Bible Pop, your Monday message. Today we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to speak about what really is God's perfect will. And can we really submit to something we have no clue what it is? I'm going to read you an article I wrote for the Los Angeles Times, and I think I normally don't do this, but I think it's well worth the read. Title: The Majestic Realm of Perfection. Not my will, but your perfect will be done. Perfection does not exist within the experience of a human being. Yet once upon a time, eons ago, there was such a place. It was called the Garden of Eden, a place where perfection existed. Man lived in a perfect freedom, perfect love, where all his needs were met in unity and accord with his Maker, his Master, his God. With one decision, choosing against the all knowing ways of God and choosing rather to analyze what he thought was best for him. With one bite of the apple, the Garden of Eden, the state of man living in perfection was lost forever. From that point forward, humanity still struggles to analyze his own affairs, make a decision of, well, what is best, desperately attempting to solve problems without knowing answers, choosing the lesser of two evils and calling it the best choice. That is our focal point. We fervently pray if only the worst thing wouldn't happen, then the outcome would be good. In all of our affairs, with all our unresolved problems, in all of life, this is our dilemma, being separated from the perfection of God. Yet this disease has shrouded man for so long, we continually pray over our will, over our situations, not knowing the far reaching effects and consequences these choices, our choices, may bring. The first bite of an apple is always good until we always experience the aftermath of a wrong choice. I too was shrouded with this disease, and it was early morning hours one day and that God finally and forever removed the veil. My husband at the time, who was completely cured today, was very sick and his alcoholism was severe. He'd disappear for days, sometimes weeks, leaving me in a state of panic. Was he okay? Was he still alive? During these times, I would get calls from the hospital informing me that he was serious condition as his alcohol levels were dangerously high. After many repetitive emergency visits to the hospital, social services got involved to investigate whether or not my 2-year-old daughter was in a safe environment. Now, even though we were separated, living in different households, that was not revealed yet. I was informed at the hearing of whether the social services would take my daughter into custody with schedules in a week time. Yet I could not attend, nor could I defend myself. The decision would be made without me present, whether or not they would take my child away. If they took her away, for how long? Why wouldn't they let me know about the meeting to defend my situation? If they took her away, this would traumatize her. She wouldn't understand. Fear like never before rose up in me, yet I was helpless to do anything but pray. I prayed for my best thing to happen. God, let me come. Lord, let them hear me. Lord, keep Allie safe. I prayed everything that I thought was my best scenario. I was a capable parent living safely and I could take care of my daughter. Yet how could I explain if I wasn't even allowed to speak? I didn't eat that week. I cried, I begged, I pleaded. I fought against all the unseen evil that wanted to take my daughter. My prayers were as violent as a mother bear protecting her cub. I prayed one single repetitive prayer: God, please don't let them take her away. It was the first break of dawn on the last day before the hearing, hours away from knowing the verdict. 6 days had passed. 6 days of fear, panic, rage, fighting against an invisible enemy that I couldn't see. Finally, at my weakest point, I heard the voice of the Lord ask me, will you pray, not your will, but my will be done? Panic like never before set in. A chill swept over my body like an ominous silence before the storm. No, don't ask me to do that. No. I felt God was preparing me for the worst, as if two soldiers dressed in full uniform knocked at the door with condolences during the wartime. Did God want me to accept that my daughter was being taken away? What does that mean, your perfect will? What are you asking me to do? Does it mean that God is taking my most precious thing from me? Does it mean that he wants me to sacrifice my daughter in the same way he asked Abraham and Isaac? Does it mean conceding my will for his perfect will? Would it mean that I would lose everything? I was afraid of what he was asking. I couldn't say yes to his perfect will. I couldn't sleep that night, as I did not want to face the next day. The revelation of perfection. It was early the morning of the day of the hearing that I felt peace surround me, and the voice of the Lord revealed the realm of perfection. My way is without flaw. It is perfect. There is no context, no understanding in which perfection exists on earth. Though there are times of confusion and despair when the end is not visible, when my perfect will is not fully expressed, the beauty is beyond imagination. I am perfect love, perfect wisdom, perfect life. In praying for my will, you are praying for perfection over your life. My way is higher than your way. My thoughts are higher than your thoughts. If you pray your will for the best thing, you have eliminated perfection from your life. Not realizing my power, my way, my answer is too great to fit into a finite space of understanding. An ocean cannot fit into a vial. Neither can my perfect will fit into your finite prayers. I had a crucial decision to make, knowing that I had to make it before sun came up and the hearing began. As if I was holding that apple in my hand, I wanted my will to be done, wanting what I thought was the best thing would be for my daughter, not trusting in the perfect will of God. Like Eve, taking the first bite, I feared God's best was not my best. It was unfathomable that Abraham held a knife above his son, ready to do the will of God. How is this possible? Abraham had the revelation of perfection. Unlike Eve, he trusted. Something came over me, a depth, a revelation, an awareness of the majestic realm of perfection. And simultaneously, the shroud of unbelief lifted. It was as if heaven opened, revealing the glory of God. Perfection, perfect for all, perfect wisdom, perfect love, perfect power, perfection, higher than anything imaginable, more glorious than a man can bear, more awesome than we have ever witnessed. Your will be done. Your will and no other. Nothing else compares. Father who art in heaven, reverence to your name. Your kingdom come. Only your will be done now as it is in heaven. My decision was made before the sun broke. With every fiber of my being, I trusted him as Abraham with his own son. I trusted that his ways were higher than my ways. I trusted that all things will work for good. I trusted that he alone knows the beginning from the end. I trusted he holds the heavens and the earth in his hands. All power belongs to him. I trusted that even if they took my daughter away from me, I trusted him. Since that moment forward, I had no agenda, no analysis over my situation, no concern what I thought the best thing would be. Not my will. I surrender to your perfect will. I received a phone call later that day. The case was dismissed, and I marveled at the perfection of that. How did God orchestrate a situation that took me to the brink of my greatest fear to demonstrate his greatness? perfect. He took me back to the Garden of Eden of total freedom from fear to the perfect realm of perfection. Let's end in prayer. Lord, we give you our fear of praying our will, our outcome, what result we want. We hand our situations to you and we lay it at the altar, releasing all control of how you will handle it. We trust that even though we do not see how you are moving behind the scenes, we trust that you are. Give us the faith not to take back in worry with fear, as the outcome will be greater than we could have ever imagined. From this day forward, I will pray differently, not my will, but your will be done. Thank you for joining. If you think this helps anyone, give them a share. And remember to subscribe for next week's Bible Pop. See you next Monday.